Hey guys, welcome back to Tech Time with Mr. Nguyen. So today we're going to be creating a really fun program, or should I say a game, that's going to be based on destroying viruses. Pretty cool, right? I'm going to play the game for you guys so you guys can see what the game's like. Alright, so check it out. I'm going to click on the green flag here, and I am pressing the up, left, right arrow keys to move, and then space to shoot some medicine. Alright. So what do you guys think the game is based on what you're seeing right now? Oh, I just lost. So what are some features that you guys see? I want you guys to think about that. Go ahead and press pause. Think about the features that you just saw, and I don't want you to just say that like, oh, there's a red color background, or there are some green spots on the ground. We want to think about how is it that you play the game. What do you see? What do you hear? Go ahead and press pause and unpause when you're ready. So if you thought about the features, this is my list of features that I came up with for this game. First feature is we have the doctor is able to turn left, right with the left and right arrow key. The doctor can move forward with the up arrow key. So I got to turn the doctor with the left, right arrow keys, and then I got to get the doctor to move in that direction with the up arrow key. Okay. The doctor can dispense medicine. The virus appears randomly. The virus points towards the doctor once, and it moves in that direction. So this means that the virus is technically not chasing the doctor. The virus is just pointing at the doctor once and moving towards the doctor. This makes the game so that it's not so difficult. Okay, you gain a point for destroying the virus. You lose the game if the virus touches the doctor, and there are some sound effects. Okay, so if you guys are ready to code, go ahead and grab the starter file. In the description, there's a link. Go ahead and click on that, and when you click on that, you should be able to see something like this. Okay. Now, keep in mind, this is version 1.0. That means that I'm going to be showing you guys how to do another version of it that's a little more advanced later on. All right. So here we are at the starter file. Okay. So in order to be able to code my program, I need to click on See Inside right here. So once I click on that, I'm able to see my coding area. All right. Now the first thing that I want to do is I want to code the doctor. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the doctor. And notice that if you go to costumes up here, you can see that there's a male and female doctor, or a boy doctor and a girl doctor. All right. So you can pick whichever one suits you, whichever one you like. And the reason why they're on the doctor is on his side is because the original direction is 90 degrees, which is facing to the right. So this points the doctor in the right direction when you're moving him or her around. Okay. All right. So first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to grab the events block when green flag click, because we want it to do this when we start the game. And the thing that we want it to do is we want to set the size to 25%, and that's in looks. So go to looks, grab the set size, which is right here, and then go ahead and change that to 25%. Now you might want to make yours a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. That's really up to you. All right. And then I'm going to tell my sprite to point in direction. And I want it to point in direction standing up. So that way when I click on the green flag, the doctor is standing straight up like this. Okay. Now this is just some initial setup. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to be making the doctor move with arrow keys. All right. So let's start out with the left, right arrow keys and making the doctor turn. So again, I'm going to go to events. I'm going to grab when green flag clicked. And then I am going to grab the if then block in the control. All right, it's right here. And then I'm going to grab the forever block in the control and put it right there. And then I'm going to grab the blue sensing block. And we're going to sense to see whether the user, which is whoever's playing your game, key space press right here. Notice that is key space, so I don't want key space. I want to click down right here, and then I want to say right arrow key. So if the right arrow key is pressed, then we want it to do something inside here. So in order to do that, we need to go to the blue motion block, grab the the turn degrees block that looks like there's a little swirl that's clockwise right here. And then we're going to change this to 5 degrees because we don't want him to turn too fast. Okay? And then we're going to repeat the same process here. We're going to go to events, grab when green flag clicked, grab the forever block, grab the if then block, and then go to sensing, grab when space key pressed, click on the drop down menu, and we're going to select the left arrow key. So then we're going to go to the blue motion block, grab turn counterclockwise and change this to 5 degrees right there. Okay, so let's see what happens. Let's click on the green flag. So if I press left, he spins left. If I press right, he spins right. So we got ours to work. Now you might be wondering, well, you know, Mr. Lin, why do I have to use the forever block? Well, if you don't use the forever block and you only have the if block like this, it won't work. Because when I click on it, look, I'm pressing the left and right arrow keys. It's not going to work because the computer only detects it once, which is when you click on the green flag. But when you click on the green flag, you're not going to immediately press on the left or right arrow key. So you want it to constantly check. That's why it's repeating forever. You want to constantly check whether the user is clicking the left or right arrow key. All right. I'm going to take a shortcut right here so you guys can duplicate a code segment by right-clicking and then go into duplicate right here. And the reason why I'm doing this is because the last code segment that I want to code for is the up arrow key. So instead of saying if key right arrow press, we're going to select up. And then instead of turn 5 degrees, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to get the move 10 steps block and change this to 5 because I want him to move a little slower. Click on the green flag. Let's test it out. Left, right, forward, left, forward, right, forward. Okay. Looks pretty good so far. Okay. All right. The next sprite that we want to work on, let me press stop right here. It's going to be medicine right here. So go ahead and click on the medicine sprite right down here. And the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to set up a variable called a score. Okay. In order to set up a variable, you need to go to the orange variables category right here. And you're going to click on make a variable. And we want to give a variable a name, score. Now, a variable, if you remember, is a storage container for information. What that means is if you want the computer to remember something, you have to create a variable and give it a name. So variables are important because they remember information, and in this case, we want the computer to remember our score so we can keep track of how well we're doing in our game. Okay? All right, with that being said, I gotta set the size and set the score to get something done in the beginning of my game. So again, I'm gonna go to events. I'm gonna grab the when green flag clicked. I'm going back to the variables category, and I'm going to get the set score. Now, if you see something that's not score, like let's say my variable or something, then you need to click on this drop-down menu and select score. Okay, we're going to set score to 0 because we want our game to start out with a score of 0 every time. Okay, if you don't set the score to 0, that means that your game is going to continue to add on points. Okay, we're going to go to looks, and we're going to go to set size. Grab the set size block, and instead of it being 100, I'm going to make it very small. Type in 10%, hit enter. Okay. Okay, and then we are going to hide in the looks category right here. And the reason why we're hiding is because the medicine has an original copy, and it's going to shoot out as clones. Okay, so the original copy hides, the clones will show because there are a lot of different clones. Okay, and then the next feature that we're gonna work on, the strategy, is that in order for the medicine to shoot out from where the doctor is at, we need to tell it to go to the doctor continuously. So we need it to do it forever. So we're gonna go to control. We're gonna grab the forever block, and then we're gonna go to the blue motion block, and we're gonna grab the go to block, okay, right here. Now instead of go to random position, we can click on the drop down menu. We can click on doctor, okay. And then last but not least, when it goes to the doctor, it needs to also look in whatever the direction that the doctor is facing. So grab the point in direction. We don't want to be 90 degrees because the direction is unknown. If the doctor is facing, if the doctor is facing 80 degrees, then it needs to be 80 degrees. So this number right here, we need to sense, instead of 90 being 90 all the time, we need to sense where the doctor is pointing at, where it's facing, up, down, left, or right, or somewhere in between. And we want it to do the same as the doctor, where the doctor is facing. So to do that, we're going to go to sensing. And this one's tricky right here. There's a block called backdrop number of stage. We need to click on stage because we're not doing it for the stage. We need to do it for the doctor. So click on doctor, and finally, the drop-down menu on the left is going to have direction available for you to select. So we want to point in direction of the doctor. Now, when I click on the green flag right now, you can't really see the medicine because the medicine is hiding right now. But if we tell it to show, it's right behind the doctor, where the doctor is supposed to be. All right. Okay, let's continue with this. So we're gonna tell so that every time you hit space, the doctor is gonna shoot out the medicine. So we're gonna go to get our conditional, which is in control. Grab the if then block. Okay, and then we're gonna go to the light blue sensing block, and we're gonna grab the key space pressed. All right, we're gonna leave it as key space because we want it to shoot when we press the key space. And then we're gonna add a sound. So remember on these tabs right here, if you go to sound, I already add the sound zoop, so you can use that sound. But if you don't want to use that sound, go ahead and click down here. You can see your sound library, and you can do whatever you want. Okay? But I already have the sound for you if you want to use the same sound as me. So we're going to go to the purple sounds block, and we're going to grab the start sound zoop. All right? Every time you press the space, it's going to play the sound zoop. So, and it's also going to create a clone. So go in control, grab the create a clone. Now what are clones? Clones are basically copies of a sprite. All right. So right now if I press space, as you can see, I'm sort of spamming the medicine. It's a little too fast. So what I want to do is I want to slow it down so that way you can't create too many clones at the same time. So I'm going to grab in control at the very top. I'm going to grab the wait 1 second block, put it right underneath create a clone. I'm going to change this to 0.1. So that way every time you shoot a medicine, you can have some time in between shooting another one. That way they're not on top of each other. All right. Now I'm going to click on the green flag. There you go. Right now you can't really see the medicine. You can only hear it. And the reason why you don't see it is because although we've created a clone of the medicine, we haven't told the clones what to do. So we're going to do that next. So let's see here. Instead of, I'm going to press stop right here. Instead of telling the clone to do something when the green flag is clicked, it needs its own block. Now this is tricky here. To control the clone, to tell it what to do, you don't go to events, but instead you go to control, and you grab at the very bottom, you grab the when I start as a clone block. It looks like an event block, but it really is not. Okay, because you're controlling the clone. It's not a special event or anything like that. All right. So when I start as a clone, you want the clone to, of course, show. So go to looks, grab the show block, click on the green flag, and let's see. So every time you move somewhere, it creates a clone of the medicine, but the clone is not really moving. So we need to tell it to move by using the move 10 steps blocks. So we're going to go to control, grab the forever block, go to the blue motion block, and grab the move 10 steps. Click on the green flag again. Let's see if this works. All right, awesome, it works. Okay, my medicine's going a little crazy right now because it's stuck on the edge and it doesn't know where to go because the clones aren't being deleted when it touches the edge. So that's something else that we got to work on, all right? So we got to fix that feature by going to control, grabbing when I start as a clone, grabbing the forever block, and then we want a if block, all right? So in control, grab the if then block right here. And we're going to tell it to detect whether it touches the edge. So if it's touching the edge, then we want the clones to be deleted. We want the copy of the medicine to be deleted, okay? So we're going to have to sense to see if it touches the edge. So go to sensing, grab the very first block, which is touching mouse pointer. And of course, we click on this right here to get the little pop-down menu. And then we're going to select edge. Okay? Now delete the clones in the control block. Grab all the way at the bottom, grab the delete this clone and click on the green flag. Boom, there you have it. Now your medicine deletes when it touches the edge. Congratulations. The next feature that we're going to do is we're going to make it so that when the medicine touches the virus, it's going to delete the clone and it's going to give us a point. All right. So again, we're still going to use when I start as a clone right here. So I'm going to duplicate this. Okay, there you go. Move this to the right, press stop. And instead of touching edge, I'm going to modify or change this into touching virus. It's going to delete the clone, but I'm missing something right here. I need to tell it to give me a point. So I'm going to go to the orange variables block, grab the change score by 1 block, put it on top of the delete this clone. Okay, before it deletes the clone, it's going to give me a point. But there's a little glitch. If the medicine deletes too fast, then the virus is not going to get the clone of the virus is not going to get deleted later on. So what we need to do is we need to make it so that it's going to wait for a little bit. So go to control, grab the wait 1 minute block, or wait 1 seconds, and change it to 0.1 seconds. Okay. Now you can't really see it because we don't have the virus coming out yet. So we need to code the virus next. So let's go to the virus. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing for the virus. We're going to tell it to hide and then set it a certain size, and then it's also going to, just like the medicine, is going to create clones of itself in random location, and it's going to come at you. So pretty cool stuff. Okay, we always start out with when green flag click. Yep. We go to looks, grab the hide block, and then we're going to grab the set size. Whoops, wrong one. Set size to 100%. We're going to change this to 15%. I want my virus to be very, very small. And just a FYI, if you go to costumes, you can pick different types of viruses. So yeah, you can pick any of these and it will show up. Just go ahead and click on the one that you like. Let's change it to this one right here. This one, this virus looks pretty nasty. Okay. And then we're going to, back to the code here, we're going to go to control, grab the forever block. All right, we're going to go to the blue motion block and we're going to tell it to go to random position. And then we create a clone of myself. Where's that at? If you set control, you got it. It's in control. Go ahead and grab the create a clone of myself at the very bottom. And then we're going to tell it to wait 1 second. We're going to change this to 3. You can change this into whatever number you want. So the longer it waits, the easier the game will become. So if you set to like 1 second, more viruses will come out. Okay. So I click on the green flag. It is creating a clone, but again, we haven't told the clone what to do. It's still hiding. So we need to tell the clone what to do, right? So do I grab the when green flag click when I want the clone to tell the clone what to do? Probably not. We need to go to control. We need to grab when I start as a clone at the very bottom. And we gotta, of course, tell it to show. And then we gotta tell it to point towards doctor just 1 time. So go to motion. We're going to grab the point towards doctor. Okay. And then we're going to go to control and we're going to tell it to move in the blue motion block just 1 step. Now, if you make this number bigger, would that make your game easier or harder? I want you to think about that, the move 1 steps block. Okay. Well, if you make it bigger, let's say if I change this to 10 steps, the virus is going to be like super fast. See that? The virus is going to come at me super fast. It's way too much for me to handle, so I'd rather have it only 1 step. So that way it's moving very slowly. Oh, nothing's happening right now when the medicine touches the virus, so we got a code for that. So again, we're going to go to if. We go to control. If it's touching, if the virus is touching the medicine, go into blue sensing, grab the touching block, which is the very first one, if the virus is touching the medicine, we want it to play a sound. So go to sound. Let's go to the sound block right here. So I already loaded 2 sounds that I like. You can change this by clicking here if you want to load your own sound. But otherwise, you have sounds that I have selected for you. Okay, we're back to the code here. And then we're going to grab play sound or start sound. And we want it to be a coin sound because oops is for when you lose the game. All right. So why not play sound oops until done? Well, if we play that, then there's going to be a delay in our game in which it's going to be a little bit laggy when it touches the medicine touches the virus. All right. So we want to use the start sound block. And then after that, we're going to go to control and delete the clone. Delete this clone. All right. Now we're going to repeat the same coding block right here. So again, we're going to use a little trick of duplicating, but this time I'm going to duplicate from the if block right here, and I'm going to put it underneath the if block right here. So right click on the if block. We're going to duplicate, and we're going to move it underneath the first if block. And instead of touching medicine, we're going to say if it touches the virus touches the doctor. Oh no, it's glitching out. If the virus touches the doctor, we're going to click on the start sound block and we're going to change it to oops. And instead of deleting the game, we're going to end the game. So to end the game, we need the stop all block. We're going to get rid of this this clone block right here. We're going to grab the stop all and put it underneath start sound oops. Let's play this game. See if it works. Go, 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 go. Destroy the virus. Protect the human body. Destroy the virus. So right now I'm just spamming the medicine. The game is relatively pretty easy. As you can see, every time I destroy a virus, I win. All right? But wait a minute. It sounds a little bit odd right now because when I touch the virus, the sound, it ends kind of early. So let's try another block. Instead of start oops sound, let's go to sounds and grab play sound until done to see if that works. So I'm gonna run into this. There we go. That sounds a lot better. And the reason why is because we want it to finish playing the sound before the game ends. Otherwise, it's gonna end the game before the sound finishes playing. All right. So go ahead and give this game a try. It's a lot of fun. I want to know what your highest score is. Go ahead and comment below with your highest score. Promise me that you don't modify the code so that way you can get score really easily, like, change score to 1,000 instead of just 1. So give this game a try, play it, comment below, and tell us what your best score is, okay? That's it for today on Tech Time with Mr. Nguyen. Catch you guys next time. See ya later.